Hello amazing people, welcome again back to my channel. How you all doing, guys? Hope you're all doing great. So this first picture you can see it's totally free. You can rock it this way as the free Bubu that it is, or you can decide to tighten the waistline just like you have it on this second picture. So this one is a Bubu with a pleated waistline, a puff sleeve, and of course a trending collar. You definitely want to see this one, guys. You definitely want to see this one. So let's get to it, guys. So this is the fabric I'm using. The main fabric here is this plain one, and this is a doll face. You can work with any fabric of your choice. Okay, you can do a satin, a bridal satin. You can work with silk, or mecano, or liquid mecano, or even a crepe fabric. Okay, yes, this can actually go well. And of course I have my direct print that I'll be using for the collar, for it. Yeah. So I have my fabric folded already. First of all, I'm going to be cutting out for the back piece first. So you can see I have it just folded into two for the back, then later on we can cut for the front. Now taking note of the desired length of mine is 57 inches for the length. So I added extra 2 inches because of the hemming and the joining at the shoulder, and that made it 59. So definitely you work with your own length. Okay, so I'm going ahead to confirm my length, and yes, I have my 59 there. Then for my width I'm going to be working with 27 inches. So you can see I'm taking note of that, 27 inches, and that's the width that I'm working with. So all I need to do now is just to extend that my width down. It doesn't have to get to the very end, but at least at some point, especially where the sleeve opening is going to stop, you can see. So I'm just taking that a little bit down. Then after that, I'll connect everything to a straight line, just like you see me doing. All right, so now the next thing I'll do now is to go ahead and take my slope. So at that very edge there, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5. Okay, 1.5 is going to serve as my slope. So I'll go ahead and mark that down. Then I'll come to the edge of the unfold part there. I will take 2.5 inches. So this 2.5 inches is going to serve as my neck width. Okay, I'm working with 2.5. You can do 3, especially if you're a little bit on the bigger side. You can do 3, but 2.5 is fine for an average person. 2.5. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and connect it to my slope. And here we have that one. Now the next thing I am going to do now is to indicate the neck depth. Remember I said this one is for the back. We already have a neck width of 2.5. Then I'm be doing a neck depth of 1.5. Okay, neck width of 2.5, neck depth of 1.5. So I'm going ahead to make my curve like so. Can see, and so that's it for the back neckline. All right, so the next thing now I would like to do is to get my sleeve opening. So I'm going to be using a sleeve opening of 20 inches. Yes, 20 inches, to give it that puffy effect, that very puffy effect. Okay, yes, so you can see 20 inches all there. So, and of course at that point I'll just extend that line downwards, inwards, and that will serve more like my chest line. Okay, so you can see me extending that line. So on this line I'm going to impute my body circumference, the biggest body circumference, and I'm working with the hips, and the hips is 44 divided by 4. I have 11. So I'm going to mark that 11 inches down. Then after that, I'll mark extra 7 inches. Okay, after the 11 inches, I'm adding extra 7 inches. You can see I'm marking that down as well. Okay, so now I'll repeat the same thing, but a little different on the lower side. So I'll get down to the end of my gown. I'll repeat my hip circumference divided by 4, which is 11. I'm marking that down. But this time around, I'm adding extra 5 inches. So you can see I'm reducing it. At the chest line, there was 7 inches extra, but here is 5 inches extra. So what do? I'll take it from that point and connect it to the very end, and that's it. You can see I'm connecting it with my ruler, and so it's giving it a slanted line. You can see this, and that's it for this one. Then I'll come to that edge of my there. I'll also add extra 1 inches for the seam allowance, so I'm just extending it as well, just 1 inches for the seam allowance, and that's it. So I'll go ahead and make my armhole there at my chest line. Just make an armhole curve there, and that will be it for the side. You can see this. And guys, we're done with the back piece. It's very simple and straightforward. So we'll go ahead now and cut this out. So at this point, guys, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please take your time now and hit the subscribe button. Remember to like, share with your friends and so in communities. I really appreciate this. Like I used to say, don't just watch and go. Please, guys, go forward to like, share, and subscribe. Okay? Thank you so much. So when you open up the back piece, I mean, this is what you have. You can see what it's looking like. And so we're done with the back piece. So we're going to be setting this aside. So we'll move over to the front. Now for the front, I'm going to be working with a pattern paper, although I will advise you to work with a line fabric, this very light lining. Yes, you can work with that one. Yes, it's better off because of the slash and spread effect we're going to be doing here. But here I'm working with my pattern. So you can see that the width here is still the same 27 inches, right? But the length is not the same. The length here is about 40 inches. That's how long my pattern is, but that's not the issue here. I will still place the back fabric on my front fabric later on to get the full length. Okay, but this one, the most important thing is just to get the drafting so that we can be able to create our slash and spread effect. Okay, yeah, so what I'm doing now is just to repeat what we have already done for the front piece. You can see I got my slope, and of course getting that same sleeve opening of 20 inches. You can see that, then fixing in the body circumference with the extra of 7 inches and the armhole. That's all I did here. It's just the same thing we've done for the front. Now the next thing now is to make what's my neck depth for this front. I'm working with 9 inches. 9 inches as my neck depth. You can see I'm going ahead to mark that down. Then I will make a V shape just like you see me doing. 9 inches depth to the neck width of 2.5. Now from the same top there, I'm going to measure 25 inches. So this 25 inches is what I'm using as the depth of my collar. Okay, the depth of my collar, although it's still going to go up when we're done, but it's 25 inches for now. The reason why it's this long now is because of the pleating effect that we're going to do, that pleating effect that we're going to do after the slash and spread. So at that 25 inches, I will move in by 2 inches, just like you see me doing. Okay, 2 inches there. Then I will still move in again at that neck depth. You see that neck depth of 9 inches. I'll still move again by 2 inches as well. Then I'll extend it as a straight line to that the collar depth. I hope you can see what I'm doing now. And you can see this. Then from that point, I will recreate another V shape. Yeah, just connect that to the neck width. So which means now the initial V neck there is discarded, so we don't need that anymore. So we're just going to cut through that top all the way to the end. So just like I'm demonstrating with my finger, and that will be it. Okay, so you can see, very important, take note of that neck depth of 9 inches. All right, so just going ahead to cut out my patterns there. You can see I'm taking off the side there, and also taking off my neck depth and the collar depth as well. Then after that, I'll take off the slope. Okay, that's the shoulder. You can see that. Yeah, so very important, like I said, make sure you take note of that neck depth. Okay, very important, so that you don't miss it out. Even when I place it on my fabric, I'm still going to notch that. All right, so you see I'm notching it there on the pattern paper now. So what we're going to do now is to start creating our slash and spread effect. First of all, from that neck depth, I'm going to be measuring 1 inch interval all the way way to the depth of that collar of 25. You can see I'll just be marking 1 inch. 1 inch is all the way to the very end. You can see what I'm doing. So once that is done, then I'll go ahead and make a straight line. So I will extend all the lines to the sides. Wherever it gets to the side, just extend all the lines just like you see me doing. So once this is done, you can see now the next thing we're going to do is to start cutting it all out. So this is the slash effect. We are not going to cut to the very end, just cut just a little bit at the edge there. So we're going to be doing this all the way on these lines that we have drawn. You just keep doing this till we get to the last lines there. You can see what I'm doing. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Please, I'll really appreciate this a lot. Don't just watch and go. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much as always. Yeah, so we're done here. You can see once we're done, you can see what we have now. So we're just going to transfer all this now to our main fabric. So this is my fabric for the front piece, and if you notice here, you see that there's a line at the top. It's over about 10 inches line there. The reason why that line is there is because of the slash effect, so that it can extend upward. That's why I have to leave that space. So from that line there is serving as what my starting up line. So at this point now, I am bringing in what my back piece. You can see I've already arranged it from that line. You can see just going to trace it all out. You can see what I'm doing. All right, yeah, so tracing that out, I'm taking that off. Okay, and of course going ahead to cut off the side. You can see that. So we have what the full length what for our front piece. All right, so now I'm now going to bring my pattern. You can see what I'm doing. Just place it there, let it align, and now slash it, spread it the way you see me doing. So you spread and hold it down with a pin. So initially I said it's advisable if you work with a lining fabric. A fabric is easier for you to stretch out and pin it down properly, okay, especially for a beginner, because the paper can be a little bit here and there. Okay, you might not really get it all straightened out. So yeah, so please go ahead and use a lining for this particular one because of the slash and spread effect. Okay, yeah, so after spreading it and pinning it down, you can see that now. So I'm going ahead to just trace it all out. You can see what I'm doing, just tracing it all out all the way. You can see, and also by the side there. So once I'm done tracing it out, I'll go ahead and cut it all out. You can see, and of course I can now take off my pins when I'm done. So if you notice, I left about 0.5 inches away from that edge. You can see, yeah. So for that, and of course still taking note of that 9 inches depth. You can see I'm still going ahead to notch it. Very important, the neck depth. Yeah, so at this point I'm done. So I'm taking off all the pins and my pattern paper is off. So by the time I open this up, and yeah, this is what we have. You can see how this is looking. You can see this now. All right, so now the next thing of course we're going to do now is to start making the pleat. So remember the points, that's our neck depth. You can see I'm using my chalk to make it visible. So we're going to be pleating from there all the way to the end of that's what our collar depth. Okay, yeah, you can start from the top, you can start from, but just make your pleat all the way from the neck depth down to that collar. You can see how I'm demonstrating. So this is how you're going to make your pleat. You can see this. Just keep doing this. After that, you do this, you repeat it on the other side. Okay, yeah, but you sure to make sure that everything aligns properly on both sides. You can see, yeah, so you can be sure to do that. So once that is done, guys, then of course I'll come back to show you. So at this point you can see I've made my pleat. Okay, so if you notice, I didn't pleat this to the very end there, but of course I later made the adjustment, so just ignore this part. Okay, yeah, I was trying to check out if I will have the exact length we had before making the pleat, if you understand what I mean. But just go ahead and pleat to the very end. So I later made that adjustment later on, but we'll still go ahead. Okay, yeah. So once you have done the pleat, then you can now bring back the back piece. At this point, I placed it over each other, right side to right side. Then I went ahead to join the shoulders. You can see I joined the shoulders. So after joining the shoulders, I'll also go ahead and make a fold on that sleeve part, more like the elastic casing, because that's where we'll be passing elastic. So I'll go finish this up now. And so when I was done, guys, you can see at this point I've joined the shoulders. I've also made the elastic casing for the elastic, which I'll be doing much later. You can see how it looks now. All right, so of course I've done this for the other side as well. And of course you can also see my plate there. It's all ready. So at this point now, all you need to do is to measure what you have from that point, take it round, to go around the back neckline and all the way to the other end of the other side. You can see, so whatever you have, you use it to cut out your strap. Okay, so this is what we'll use for the collar. So you can see, so I had to do a joining, okay, so that I can have a longer piece. So I had to do a joining. Okay, so I have joined it at this point. You can see this, and the width of this my strap is about 5 inches. Okay, yeah, so this is what I'm going to be using. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is, remember our neck depth. Still, this our neck depth is very important. So what I'm going to do now is going to measure, that's my neck depth. From that neck depth, I'm going to measure it round to go through the back neckline down to the other side. Okay, you can see the way I'm demonstrating with my finger. Just measure from one neck depth round to the other end, just like you see. So whatever you have there, so that's what we're going to use to make our collar. You can see I have about 25 inches there, so I'll be working with that. So I'll go ahead and set this aside. Then I'll bring back my piece. So this my piece now. I'm going to be folding it into 2 equal parts. Remember I said I'm working with 5 inches in width. 5 inches in width. Okay, so this 5 inches in width now, the midpoint is going to be 2.5, right? All right, so from after folding this my strap into 2 equal parts like so, then that 25 inches we just measured round the neckline, I will split it into 2. Split it into 2 means I will divide it by 2. So 25 divided by 2, and that's what? 12.5, right? Okay, so now from that top now, I'm going to measure down 12.5, just like you see me doing, measuring down my 12.5. I'll mark that down. From that point now, I'll go ahead and now start sewing straight down to the end of my strap. So sewing straight down is what the center of this 5 inches in width. So I'll have to sew at the middle. Okay, remember this is 5 inches in width, so I have to sew on the straight line. So I'll go ahead and finish this up now so you see how it is. So when I was done sewing, you can see, you might not really see the thread in there. So by the time you turn it to the other side, you can already see how this is looking. You can see how our collar is looking now. So I'll just go ahead now and give this a very good press, okay, so that it will be well relaxed. So you can see this already. So I'll go iron this out, and when I'm done ironing this out, you can already see it's turned out well. So it's time to attach it to our dress. So now I'm going to locate the center back neckline. For me to do that, I'll bring the 2 shoulder joinings together. Okay, once I do that, I will notch it. So that will be the center back. So I went ahead to use my chalk to make that to be more visible, like you see me doing. So that's where I'll start sewing my collar. So for my collar there, the strap, you can already see that I already have a center joining there. So it makes it easy. Just align it with the center of the back neckline, just like you see me doing. Just align it there, pin it down. Then you can go ahead and start sewing. It's a very easy sew, straightforward sewing there. Just sew from that point, sew it all the way straight down to the end of the collar depth. Okay, you do that, and of course you repeat the same thing on the other side as well. It's a very simple sewing, so that's what I'm going to do, right now. Okay, yeah. So once I'm done with that, of course you're going to see how this turns out. And so once I'm done sewing, just make sure you clean up the inside, very important. By turning it to the right side, you can already see how this is looking. You can see this now. Yeah, so for the edge part of that the strap, you definitely have some excesses, so you can just trim out some excesses. If you do, then trim out some excesses, then you go ahead and stitch. So before that, you can see me notching the side of that where our collar depth stop, just a little bit, about 0.25. Just notch it. You can see, if you can see that, you can see I'm notching that edge there, so that when you are making that tiny fold, it will be very easy. So once you've done that, go ahead and fold the little excesses you have remaining there. Just fold it on top of it, and then you top stitch, and that will be it. It's very, very easy. Okay, you can see, just go ahead and top stitch. Okay, you can see, and that will be it, guys, for this part. So once this is done, now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and fix my elastic. Okay, yeah, so just run your elastic through the casing. You work with your round sleeve circumference. Do the same thing for the other side. Now the next thing I want to do, which is optional, is to fix the belt. Okay, now from the shoulder, just measure about 17 inches for the waistline there. Do the same thing for the other side, measure 17 inches on the waistline there, and so that's where we're going to be fixing the strap. So from the center of my front, you divide your waist circumference into 4. Like mine is 36 divided by 4, that's 9. So you can see I'm marking 9 inches. You can take away 1 inches as well. You can mark 8 as well, yeah, depending what your waist circumference is. Just mark it on both ends, and there you'll be attaching a long strap. A long strap of about 30 to 35 is okay. You can see, just attach a long strap, just like I'm demonstrating with my tape rule, and that is it. That's it for that one. So once that is done, now we're on the finally, you just bring everything together. At this point, you must have fixed your elastic. Then you go ahead and sew through the sleeve, through the armhole, straight down, then the same thing on the other side. Then finally hem the end of the gown, and that will be it, guys. So that's it, guys, on how to make this very beautiful one. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today, and I hope you find it helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you on the next one. Bye.